Hey, beautiful people. Good night, good night, good night. Yesterday we had a little hiccup, but we're back today, and yeah, we all excited to talk everything tax. Yeah. So, of course, it's your girl Pineapple, and I do have a special guest with me today, Miss Adams. Miss Adams is a tax expert, so we'll be talking everything tax because yesterday, because of connectivity issues, we had to cancel it. So we're gonna do it today and ensure that you guys get all your questions and everything like that. Make sure that you're ready to be interactive and you're ready to learn two things about taxes here in Grenada. Yeah. So what I did, probably I should play my video again. Okay, so let me just briefly explain to you guys what the Pine Corner is all about. If you've been following the page, then you might have an idea, but let me just give you a little update as to the relevance of the program. Yeah. So we allow young entrepreneurs to use our platform so that they can speak about their products and services, their challenges, the journey, all of that good stuff. And we want to create a space where we can just connect, have a conversation, and let me break down some of the services, some of the products that we're going to offer you. And if you have questions, you have queries, yeah. So all in all, I like to do my usual, my usual good stuff. So if you're hearing me clearly and y'all see me clearly, of course, give me a thumbs up, please, so I can know whether or not I need to continue or if I need to adjust anything from my end. So if you see me clearly and you're hearing me clearly, give me a little thumbs up so I can continue. Yeah, that's all I need. So I'm gonna go on to the live. Right. Let me know if all you're seeing me and all you're hearing me clearly. Okay, good. Nice, nice. Okay, wonderful. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guests and we're going to get right into things. Should I bring on my guest or should I? Okay, no, let's stick a pin. Let's stick a pin there before I bring it onto the camera. Yesterday, I played a video and I want to play the video again. It's probably about 3 minutes max, but I want you guys to sit and understand the video in its entirety. I know Grenadians don't like to listen and or they like to listen to respond and not listen to understand. So this video is very important. Just take a few minutes and understand what Mrs. Obama is saying, yeah? So we're going to do the video and after we're going to bring on Miss Adams, yeah? Yeah.
Who are you going to be? And if you'll notice, I'm not asking what are you going to do, but who are you going to be? I'm asking you about how you plan to live your life every day. How are you going to respond when you don't get that job you had your heart set on? For all of you who are going to be teachers, what are you going to do if the students in your class next year just don't respond to your lessons? For all of you going into business, how will you react when your boss gives you a goal that feels way too high? See, these are the moments that define us. Not the day you get the promotion, not the day you win Teacher of the Year, but the times that force you to claw and scratch and fight just to get through the day. The moments when you get knocked down and you're wondering whether it's even worth it to get back up. See, those are the times when you've got to ask yourself, who am I going to be? And I want to be clear, this isn't just some vague platitude about building character. In recent years, we've actually been seeing a growing body of research that shows that skills like resilience and conscientiousness can be just as important to your success as your test scores or even your IQ. For instance, West Point cadets who scored high on things like grit and determination were more likely to complete basic training than those who ranked high on things like class rank, SAT scores, and physical fitness. So what we're seeing is that if you're willing to dig deep, if you're willing to pick yourself up when you fall, if you're willing to work and work until your weaknesses become your strengths, then you'll develop a set of skills that you can mold and apply to any situation you encounter, any job you might have, any crisis you might confront. But you got to make that choice. And let me just share just a little secret before I end. As someone who has hired and managed hundreds of young people over the course of my career, whether it was during my time as a lawyer, as an administrator, as a university, a nonprofit manager, even now as First Lady, I have never once asked someone I was interviewing to explain a test score or a grade in a class. Never. I have never once made a hire just because someone went to an Ivy League school instead of a state school. Never. What I have looked for is what kind of person you are. Are you a hard worker? Are you reliable? Are you open to other viewpoints? Have you stepped outside of your own self-interest to serve others? Have you found a way to serve our country, whether in uniform or in your community? Again and again, I have seen that those are the qualities that I want on my team, because those are the qualities that move our businesses and schools and our entire country forward. And just understand this. Those are the qualities that you all already embody. They're the values you learned from your parents, from the communities you grew up in. And today, more than ever before, that's what the world needs.
Okay, guys, so I hope you understood the message. And you know, young particular times, especially young business, young entrepreneurs, it's like it's so hard. You want to give up, but remember you have a purpose and there's a vision and everything that you want to do. So stick to the plan, according to Job King. Stick to the plan, and of course, you know, patience is a hell of a thing, and we need to have a lot of patience as business owners. Everything won't happen overnight unless you're a millionaire or your parents are millionaires and they just hand you the money. Anyway, we talk in tax, yeah. So yeah, so let me bring on the lovely Tamara Adams onto the screen. Yeah.
Hi, good night, Pineapple. Good night, audience.
All right, she have better internet connection tonight. Woo-hoo.
Yes,
She must,
yes,
she
indeed.
must have
I'm
been
stable.
nice.
Stationary tonight. Yes.
Okay, good. So just give people a quick
So just give people a quick
overview as to who you are and you know what you represent.
So good night again, lovely people. My name is Tamara Adams, and I am the main consultant at the Tax Experts, and we are a tax consultancy firm involved in tax preparation and basic tax compliance, filing, review, audit. So that's basically what we do. Everything tax, yes. So if you want to remember anything else, it's everything tax. That's what we do at the Tax Experts. So from big to small, whether you are a business, you are a sole proprietor, you are a partnership, we serve you, your clients, and that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're basically in the tax season.
Yes, we are in the heat of the tax season because the tax deadline is March 31st for most businesses. And when I say most businesses, once your financial year was January 1st to December 31st, meaning your year ended December 31st, which is typical for most small businesses, then March 31st will be the last date that you can file your return without getting any interest or penalty.
Okay, and yesterday you made mention to some of the I would say small businesses. You know, you said even if you're doing barbecue at the side of the road and or you're doing, you know, tailoring or you're a seamstress, it is important to pay tax. So people probably wondering, well, I don't see a big need to pay tax. So why? What sort of advice would you give to business owners who think that it's not important to pay tax?
Well, the thing is, pineapple. Most people they think that I'm just doing a barbecue by the side of by the side of the road or so, and nobody would catch me. Nobody would notice I'm there. But the thing about it is that the registration officers at Inland Revenue will go out from time to time, and once they go out and they find you, then the interest and penalty can be quite huge because I can tell you the most basic, the lowest penalty that you will pay for failure to even so well, don't even talk about register. If you fail to register for taxes, the lowest penalty that you're gonna pay is $2,500. That's failure to register. If you fail to file, so that's in addition to failure to register. So you fail to file, the minimum you will pay is $500. So imagine you're a small business and you have nothing to pay. And because you fail to file and you fail to register, and the inland revenue happen to catch up on you, and then you just out of nowhere you have to find $3,000 base as a basic amount. Yes.
Yes.
And that's quite unfortunate for small businesses. And with the new dispensation, you would notice that what has been discussed even in our parliament in terms of the budget and so from the budget speech, the prime minister would have announced that strict measures will be taken. Enforcement will proceed going forward. So you expect for stricter enforcement from January of 2024. That's why for this particular year, the Inland Revenue and so they are in the tax. They have a tax amnesty where you get everything off. Yeah. So, as a small business, you can actually avoid all these penalties and interest if only you file. So, one of the other things, though, is that, and that can come about as a result of enforcement, and that would be the tax clearance certificate. So, the law speaks to a tax clearance where you would have to get some basic activities and so like to travel to live Grenada and so you need tax clearance. And I mean that has not been enforced for so many years, but we're never sure if that is something that would be enforced coming into play in 2024. So these are just some of the basic things, yes, because clearing things on the port, you need to have a tax ID number. Imagine the grant that they were just giving out. One of the prerequisites for that grant was registration. And what I noticed is that a lot of small businesses registered for that small grant, but what they failed to do is to register with the Inland Revenue. And they also probably not even aware that they're supposed to be filing their tax returns for all the years that they indicated that they actually was operating. So for some persons, they stated on the document that they sent to Kaipo as for the business registration, as a
Mhm.
start date, they had things like 2010, 2012, 2013, 14. It means, therefore, that you have to file for all these years. And failure to do so would result in penalties and interest. And no, the refund really much the return except you paid more than you were supposed to. So that's just some of the benefits of being registered and filing. You can take advantage of those grants and all these things.
Okay, I'm not sure if you can answer this question because I'm seeing it there. They want to know why the registration process takes long to be approved. And I'm assuming it's a business
Oh,
registration.
why?
Can you speak on that or
I mean, at Kaipo, it takes about 3 days. That's Corporate
it
Affairs and
does?
Intellectual Property Office. It takes about 3 days. From the Inland Revenue perspective, I will not be able to answer that. One of the things I must say could be that they probably have quite a lot of registration. Because if you've been to Inland Revenue, if you're familiar with Inland Revenue, you would recognize that the staff in registration is quite limited. And if the staff there is quite limited, imagine for I'm not sure what the exact numbers are in terms of the businesses that were registered during the grant period or for that grant. And based on how many businesses registered, you have these 3 or 4 persons. I can't remember exactly how much they have, but you have this limited amount of staff that have to deal with all these registration documents in addition to dealing with customer queries and concerns because they are also the customer service representatives of IRD. So from my perspective, that's what I would see. That's probably what may explain it, but I'm
Mhm.
not sure if there's anything else.
Okay,
Yeah.
and let me add to this. Probably you could correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because most small business owners under the impression that when they go to Kaipo, they register. No, you're just paying for the business name. When you go over to Inland Revenue, then your business gets registered. So there's a lot of people under the impression that okay, I went there and I think you pay $25 or something like that.
25 for the business name. If
Name.
you want to go through incorporation and so, then that's different.
Right. So people believe that once they get that particular, they give you this certificate thingy. Once you
Yes. So
receive
your
that,
business is registered. The business name is registered because remember, to operate a business in Grenada, you need to have a name. Yes. So, you need to have the name registered so that no one else can basically take it from you. Yeah. Except you fail to use it and the years pass. But apart from that, you need to register for tax purposes. And
Yes.
registering at KIPO does not mean that you have registered. Well, it doesn't mean at all that you've registered for tax. It's a separate registration altogether.
Okay, and something I want you to speak on, apart from the businesses that you work with, I'm seeing that you having a couple of sessions. So let people know where they can find you and what the sessions entail.
Okay, so our general location is H.A. Blaze Street. Someone can pop in any day, and that's in St. George. But for the persons in the outer parishes, will be in Carriacou on the 23rd of March. So that's a few weeks from now. On the 21st of, and that's at the Resource Center in Carriacou. In St. Andrew, will be at Deluxe Cinema, and that's on the 16th of March, and it starts at 5 p.m. And then we will be at in St. Patrick's. The location has yet to be confirmed, so as soon as I'm able to confirm St. Patrick's location, then I'll share it with you, Pineapple, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll share it with your audience for in case anyone is interested. It's a free tax session where we basically engage small businesses in terms of what your responsibilities and your obligations are. So at least you know what is expected from you as a taxpayer, as a registered business, or as a business operating in Grenada. What are some of your obligations and your responsibilities? What do you need to do? Where do you need to file? When you need to file? um, Give you some information, basic information about exemption. Because what I realize is that our small businesses are the most vulnerable because they do not have the assistance of some of these. They cannot afford a large accountant or someone who will be able to guide them. Yes. And the large businesses, sorry to say, but they are the ones that get all the benefits because they have someone on their team who can actually advise them and give them some basic information to help them to be compliant, and the small businesses do not have that advantage. And that's what we're about, to just give them some basic information so at least they know some of the things they should be doing, keeping their records, because that can actually help to reduce their bills at the end of the tax season, so that you do not have to pay a tax consultant or you do not have to pay a tax preparer, let's say maybe a $500 or $600 just to get it done when you can probably get it done yourself. Yes, so just some basic information we will be passing on. Some people, when they hear the word tax, they get so scared. And one of my job would be to ensure that at least to make Grenadian small businesses comfortable with the word tax. Yes, because it's not all bad. Because I must say, for the inland revenue, there is exemptions that you actually get. And if you're a small business and you earn in total income sales, right? You earn less than $300,000, you pay nothing for the purpose of personal income tax. So you pay no personal income tax if you have a business that earns less than 300,000. What you would pay would be annual stamp tax, which is basically 0.5%. So that's half of 1%. Or you pay 0.7%. And the zero point 0.7 is for persons over the 300,000, while the 0.5% would be for businesses who basically earn above 36,000 for the year. It means that you have to make more than $3,000 per month. And if you're a small business, you're under 36,000, it means that you have nothing, absolutely nothing to pay. So so these are some of the things that we will be discussing as we meet, because we realize that some people, they just hear the word tax and they get scared, and we don't want that. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
So something I want you to reiterate, right?
Mhm.
You mentioned that, okay, so you just called some figures there, the
Ah.
36,000, whatever. So imagine I'm a small business owner and I am not making that amount. But because I failed to file, I'm
Mhm.
going to be charged what? Give me the figures again. So probably some of the
Ah.
people who just joined the live, even if they're not small business owners, they might come in contact with a small business owner, so at least they can give them that information. So imagine you're not I don't even want to say qualify because I don't know if qualify is the right word. Imagine you're not nothing to pay for tax because you're making that particular amount of money. But
Okay.
because you fail to file, you're going to be charged how much or fined how much?
Okay. Sorry about that. I know sometimes the thing is I speak pretty quickly, so my bad. Yes.
Yeah.
So let me just take that over. So really and truly to pay annual, so there is annual stamp tax, there is personal income tax, there is things like withholding tax, you have corporate income tax, you have pay as you earn, you have property tax, you have value added tax. So you have different tax types. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
To pay two of the most basic tax types, which would be the annual stamp tax and the personal income tax, there is a certain amount that you must make. Yes. So for a small business to pay personal income tax, well, for any business to pay personal income tax, you must make, in terms of your sales, income, commissions, whatever, rental income, you must make in total in excess of $300,000 to pay. However, the law says that you must file the return. Failure to file the personal income tax return would mean that you will be paying at least $500 for failure to file.
Okay.
So although you have nothing to pay, you will still have to file. You still have to file, and failure to file would mean that you pay at least 500. So it's $500 for the first month. Every month thereafter, it will be an additional $100,
Okay.
and that's the most basic, right? For the annual stamp tax, which is a different tax type, to file, you don't necessarily need to file that return based on the law. I would
Mm-hmm.
advise people to file it, but it's not necessary unless you make more than $36,000 per year.
Ah,
So you
okay.
must make over. So once you make more than 36,000, which is three on average $3,000 per month. Once you make more than that per month, more than 3,000 per month or 36,000 per year, then you must file the annual stamp tax return.
Okay.
In addition to filing, you will have to make payments towards annual stamp tax. So you do not pay any annual stamp tax on any amount less than 36,000. But for amounts above 36,000, what you would pay, so 36,000 right up to $299.99, sorry, 299 $1,999, you basically pay, so right up just before 300,000, yeah,
Okay.
you would basically pay 0.5% of the total amount. So what you do is total sales. So let's say your sales is 236,000. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
You will pay annual stamp tax of 0.5% of 200,000.
Ah,
So you find less than 1% of um 200,000, and that's what you, because your first 36,000 for all businesses would be exempt.
okay.
If you earn more than 300,000, well, you're no longer a small business. Once you earn in excess of $300,000 or 300,000, so 300,000 and above, then what you pay in annual stamp tax would be 0.7% of the difference between the amount that you make and 36,000.
Okay.
I
Okay.
hope that clears it up. If not, then let me know and I'll just provide some more information.
I have it. I understand fully. I hope the people on the live
If you have
listening
any, yes, if there are any questions in the chat, then please add it and I'll try my best to answer.
most definitely. So we have 4 minutes. Yes, I'm watching the time. We have
Yes.
4 minutes. So I'm going to allow you to say, your bit, whatever it is that you have to add. Let the people know, of course, where to find you again and some of your contact information. And just run over the schedule for Karaku. You said St. Patrick and St. Andrew.
Yes.
All right. So yeah.
So again, well, thank you for having me, Pineapple, first and foremost.
No
Thanks
problem.
for the exposure and everything. It's tax season. And I trust that at the end of the day that the small businesses in Grenada would at least try to get themselves registered and compliant for tax purposes. There are many accountants and even persons who handle tax preparation around. We are just one of them. I would like to say that for the tax experts, we are located on H.A. Blaze Street, St. George's. So that's right opposite Siboney Chambers, just around the turn down from Locust Street, Upper Locust Street. So if you're coming down Locust Street, you can find us right on the corner there, right downstairs, Care Transition. So that's Care Transition Center. They're upstairs, we're downstairs. We're close to that daycare. Again, we provide services. So we do tax planning, we do tax consultancy, we do tax advisory, we do tax compliance reviews, tax auditing. So just in case Inland Revenue decide to audit you, we provide that service where we can assist you with the audit process and procedures. Because remember, the Inland Revenue will not be for you; they are for taxation. But if you come to us, then we will work in your favor. Yes. And our aim really and truly is to make sure that you do not pay more than you're supposed to. So you're not going to thief the government. We're not going to help you to do that. But what we will help you to do is to pay what is due and not 1 cent more than what is due. Yes. We help with tax preparation. We help with we give some advice, and we also do tax training. So for some persons who think that they have the skill and the ability to do, let's say, accounting, and they're not too sure about the tax, but all they did is just some basic training so that they know what to do, then we provide that service as well. So we can help them to know what to do by offering out some training, because at the end of the day, there are quite a number of businesses and some persons may not have the resources to pay every year to get the job done, but you can just take on some training. So you engage yourself in training, you take the training for about a month, 2 months, and then you move on and you can do it on your own. And in the long term, you actually save some money. Yeah. But you can reach out to us so you can call us or WhatsApp us on 403-3415, or you can call 435-3415. So you can call or WhatsApp 403-3415, or you can just, if you call the landline, then that's 435-3415, or you can just shoot us an email at ttegrenada@gmail.com. So that's ttegrenada@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn. You can reach out to us on Facebook, or you can also reach out to us on Instagram.
Okay. Nice. It was a pleasure today. I know you have a busy schedule, so I appreciate you taking the time to, to come out tonight and, get this done. Yeah, I really do appreciate you. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
we look forward to another conversation. Probably the ending a match. You could come back and say, well, this particular, the numbers increase because a couple of small businesses decide to come on board and set
Of
it.
course, compliments, pineapple. Yes, yes, yes.
Of course.
Indeed.
So I'm gonna sign out tonight. I'm gonna say good night. And listen, guys, if you know a small business owner who would benefit from this, I'm gonna leave the live up. So of course they could come back to kind of, listen and be educated a bit, get informed. And of course they're gonna reach out to the tax experts. Yeah.
Of course, surely. We can help. Yes, we guarantee we can help you. If you have a tax question, we can and we will help you.
Alrighty. All right, guys. So for the viewers, have a good night, and I'll see you next Sunday, but at 5:30 we have another entrepreneur to talk. I can't say what it is yet, but yeah, we have another entrepreneur. Yeah. So have a wonderful night and peace.
Good night. Good night, everyone. Blessed night.